Many individuals with intellectual disabilities do not: 1. Recognize common dangers and hazards. 2. Do not have the skills to determine things that are inappropriate, dangerous, unsafe, or unhealthy. 3. Recognize the need for help. 4. Understand what an emergency situation may be. Drowning is the number one cause of injury-related death to individuals with developmental disabilities. Many people with IDD are attracted to water and don't know how to swim. Many don't have any regard for the time of year, weather, or time of day. It is every employee's responsibility to always be in the presence of their client to keep them safe in the home and in the community. Watch for 1. Elopement and wandering. The individual may want to get something, go somewhere, or see someone, escape, get attention, or find pleasure in running or for other reasons. 2. Risks include drowning, dehydration, hypothermia, traffic injuries, falls, unsafe encounters with strangers, unexpected encounters with law enforcement. 3. Bring identification for the individual and for yourself. The individual may also wear medical ID bracelets or necklaces. 4. Service dogs and electronic tracking devices can also be helpful if elopement is a concern. Safety in the service setting. Some examples of how one can make community connections are police station tours and open houses, community events, safety and health fairs, community education at libraries or schools, for example, community service events, charity events, participate in local disability-focused organizations, participate in specialized classes or clubs. Kitchen safety skills in the home. If the individual is wanting to do more in the kitchen or has shown some interest in being in the kitchen, that can be a great time to work on teaching kitchen safety skills and awareness. You could start by teaching what items in the kitchen are dangerous and how they could hurt them. Show them pictures or get the real objects and model for them appropriate behavior to use when around those items. Teach them how to ask for help. You could try using YouTube videos to show demonstrations on how to use specific items, such as knife skills or how to use the blender. Be with them every time they want to be in the kitchen so that you can help model appropriate behaviors and show them how to do specific steps. Supervision is always required and mandatory in the kitchen. Use visuals around the kitchen, such as step-by-step instructions for specific skills they are working on. You could use checklists as reminders on things such as what to do after cooking food or rules to follow so they don't get hurt. Stay safe, avoiding kitchen hazards. Keep knives properly stored. Knives should be stored in a knife block or magnetic strip to prevent accidents. Clean up spills immediately. Wipe up any spills on the floor, countertops, or stovetop right away to prevent slips, falls, and contamination. Use cutting boards for chopping. Always use a stable cutting board when chopping or slicing to prevent slips and injuries. Handle hot items with care. Use oven mitts or pot holders when handling hot pots, pans, or dishes to avoid burns. Keep flammable items away from the stove. Ensure dish towels, paper towels, and other flammable materials are kept away from open flames or hot surfaces. Turn pot handles inward. Turn pot and pan handles inward on the stovetop to prevent them from being accidentally knocked over. Store chemicals safely. Keep cleaning supplies and chemicals in a separate cabinet away from food and out of reach. Use appliances safely. Follow manufacturer instructions for appliances. Unplug them when not in use and keep cords away from water. Avoid wearing loose clothing. Loose sleeves or clothing can catch fire or get caught in appliances. Wear fitted clothing or roll up sleeves. Maintain proper ventilation. Use exhaust fans or open windows to ensure good air circulation and prevent the buildup of smoke or fumes while cooking.
In the event of a seizure, stay calm, protect the individual from falling, clear the area so nothing will fall on the individual. Never put anything into the individual's mouth. Put a pillow, rolled up towel under the person's head. People who lose consciousness should be rolled onto their side to ease breathing. If you are uncertain of any neck or back injury, then do not move the person. Observe closely and note the start and end time of the seizure. Allow the person to rest after the seizure, but observe closely to ensure breathing is normal and there is no recurrence of the seizure. Notify the parent, legally responsible person, QP, and doctor as required. If a seizure lasts 15 minutes or more, or the person has recurring seizures in which the individual does not regain consciousness, this is a medical emergency. Call 911. There are 4 types of workplace violence. The first type is criminal intent. The person has no legitimate business relationship to the workplace and usually enters the affected workplace to commit a robbery or other criminal act. The second is when a person is the recipient or the object of a service provided by the affected workplace or the victim. AIM training and team planning are methods we use for addressing potential workplace violence behavior from clients. The third type of workplace violence is from an employee. This type of workplace violence usually involves an assault by a current or former employee, supervisor, or manager. The fourth is someone with a personal relationship. This type of violence occurs by someone who is not an employee but has had a personal relationship with an employee. If you are faced with aggressive behavior, obey the demands within reason, warn others, and never hesitate to call the police. Look for any opportunity to get away. Avoid any actions that may set off an aggressive person. And finally, never ignore a threat. In the case of an active shooter, evacuate. If possible, evacuate the area and call 911 when you're safe. Hide. Lock yourself in a room and, if possible, blockade the door with heavy furniture. Remain out of the view of the shooter. Turn off your cell phone ringer if possible. Do not trap or restrict your ability to continue moving if necessary. And lastly, take action against the shooter. As the last resort, and only when your life is in immediate danger, attempt to disrupt the shooter by acting aggressively, throwing objects and improvising weapons, and committing to your actions. Please note, these tips address potential violence from employees and the public. They do not apply or work with our clients. AIM training and team planning are the methods for addressing potential aggression from clients. Safe driving. Driving facts. Transportation is expensive and dangerous. Do not drive clients around just to have something to do. When possible, use existing public transportation available for all people. Driving at an unsafe speed is the most common error that causes fatal accidents. Over 45,000 people will die and 3 million people will be injured in car accidents this year. Friday evening and night is the most dangerous time to drive. It is every employee's responsibility to report any traffic violations to your supervisor. Failure to do so may result in disciplinary action or termination of employment. There are many common safety problems and solutions. Problems: night driving. There are 4 times more likely to have a fatal accident at night. Dust, rain, poor windshield wipers, worn brakes, worn tread on tires, weak belts and old hoses, poor acceleration, headlights or turn signals failing. Driving with a client. Do not drive while a client is displaying aggressive behaviors or having a medical emergency. Pull over to a safe location until the client is calm. Call your supervisor for additional support once you have pulled over safely. In emergency, dial 911 and request a CIT officer for support. Talking on a cell phone or texting while transporting an individual is prohibited. Always follow the speed limit and North Carolina driving rules. Do not engage with aggressive drivers. Do not drive if your driving ability is impaired. Solutions: monitor your fatigue and anger. Always wear seatbelts. It's the law. Turn on your headlights even during the day. Use child safety restraints installed correctly. Do not use cell phones, read, or tailgate. Use turn signals. Drive slower. It saves on gas, too. Complete preventative maintenance on vehicles.
Person-centered decisions and dignity of risk. Empowering those with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities to empower themselves. We are social beings. Our identity and the decisions we make about our lives are shaped by the world around us. This means that true autonomy comes from inclusion in the wider community. An inclusive life involves living and growing alongside others and progressing towards the same life goals is critical to achieving self-direction. Examples of choices that people without IDD make for themselves include: what am I going to eat for dinner? Which movie will I see? Whether or not I should accept that recent job offer? What shoes to buy? The clothes I want to wear each day? If I want to sit or stand? What other choices you get to make daily? Freedom to make choices is a human right. International human rights laws protect people's rights to decide how they spend their money, make their own healthcare decisions, work for a living, and have relationships with friends and family. Adults without disabilities take the freedom of choice for granted, but people with disabilities cannot. People with disabilities, especially intellectual and/or developmental disabilities or mental health diagnoses, often do not get to make their own choices. Often, if a family member thinks the person with the disability cannot make good choices, the person is no longer in charge. It is important to remember that people with disabilities can make their own choices if provided the right supports. Before we do anything with or for someone we support, we should ask ourselves, is this good enough for me? To sit in a wheelchair with crayons or paper in front of me for an hour. To never be allowed to prepare a snack. To try to eat food for myself. To pour my own drink. To wait and wait and wait. To be told to go, stop, hurry up, sit down, stand up, come here, and go there without being asked what I would like to do. To never take part in a project from beginning to end, but only 1 or 2 steps of it. To never be allowed to serve my own food, make a mess, clean up my own mess, and take the time I need to finish something. That people believe I cannot learn, grow, make friends, and have a good life. That no one listens to what I want, what I value, or what's important to me. When we are not allowed to make our own decisions or someone makes them for us, we are seen as less capable and having less value in the community. From Interviews with Persons with IDD from a Global Report on the Right to Decide by Inclusion International, 2014. Barriers when trying to make decisions for yourself. The information is not accessible for me. It is too complicated if it is given to me at all. Lack of knowledge and confidence on how to communicate my choices. Families and other people are overprotective. People see me as a child and treat me as such. People think I won't understand. The direct support professionals are supposed to support me, but they run my life. People around me do not believe I can decide. Bad past experiences. I am ignored, excluded, and fearful. I want to be able to go out at the times I want, shop where I want, and make decisions on what time I do things, not when or where it suits the paid caregiver. Remember, just because someone cannot communicate verbally does not mean that they cannot make their own choices. Families often decide where and with whom persons with an intellectual or developmental disability should live. Decisions about living in an institution, as opposed to living in the community, are often made on the individual's behalf. As persons with IDD are supported to express their decisions through new communication techniques, and families and workers are supported to understand these techniques. These decisions are becoming realized for the first time. This is building the foundation for future supported decision-making in other areas of life. What is dignity of risk? Dignity of risk describes the right to choose to take some risk while engaging in life experiences. Every endeavor has some element of risk, and every opportunity for growth carries with it the potential for failure. Everyone learns through a process of trial and error, often learning as much from mistakes as from successes. People in the lives of individuals with intellectual disabilities, usually with the best of intentions, often try to eliminate all life's risk and prevent any opportunities for failure. What can result is a life where an individual has never had the opportunity to develop new skills in learning. By supporting each other in informed risk-taking and utilizing the many teaching opportunities it reveals, we are provided with the opportunity to try new things, test our limits, and discover capabilities we never knew we had, helping us to achieve goals that further enrich our lives. Person-centered philosophy. The person-centered thinking recognizes that people are experts in their own lives and should be the driving force behind what they want their lives to be. Everyone can express their preferences and live a full life in their own community. Person-centered thinking focuses on what matters most to the person, not to the paid supports or other people in a person's life. Exploring new experiences is vital to person-centered thinking. Services being provided are about helping the person meet the goals they have for their own life, not the goals others impose on them. Person, purposeful living, choice, self-determination, respect, dignity.
Lifting techniques. Some general guidelines to follow when you lift or move a person include: keep your head and neck in a proper alignment with your spine. Maintain the natural curve of your spine. Do not bend at your waist. Avoid twisting your body when carrying a person. Always keep the person who is being moved close to your body. Keep your feet shoulder width apart to maintain your balance. Use the muscles in your legs to lift and or pull. If the person is uncooperative, too heavy, or in an awkward position, get help. Moving a client from a bed to a wheelchair. To move a person who is lying in bed, put the chair close to the bed and lock the wheels. If the person is not strong enough to push up with his or her hands to a sitting position, place one of your arms under the person's legs and your other arm under his or her back. Move the person's legs over the edge of the bed while pivoting his or her body so that the person ends up sitting on the edge of the bed. Keep your feet shoulder width apart with your knees bent and your back in a natural straight position. If the person needs assistance getting into the wheelchair, position their feet on the floor and slightly apart. Face them and place his or her hands on the bed or on your shoulders. Your feet should be shoulder width apart and your knees bent. Place your arms around the person's back and clasp your hands together. Hold the person close to you. Lean back and shift your weight. Pivot toward the wheelchair. Bend your knees and lower the client into the chair. Make sure the client has both hands on the arm of the chair before you leave him or her down.
Get you over in the wheelchair. Your wheelchair's locked. You ready? Put your hand on my shoulders. We're going to go up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Put your feet on here so you don't slide. Let me move the chair. Okay. Now I'm going to block your feet and you help me get up, okay? Put your shoulders here. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Sit down. Now hold on and I'll slide you back some more. Straighten you up. Put your feet up here so you don't slide. Move the wheelchair out of the way. Now I'm going to block your feet and we're going to go straight up on the bed, okay? Help me. Put your arms on my shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just lay back. Slide you up some more. I'm going to put you up on the bed. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Put your legs up. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Lay you down, okay? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to lay you down, okay? 1, 2, 3. You're going to bend your knees a little bit for me, okay? And push with your feet, okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to move you up in the bed, okay? Bend your knees for me and push with your feet on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to say
set you on the bed, okay? Put your arms up here on my shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Okay, keep coming on over. All right, we're gonna sit down. 1, 2, 3. Lock your wheelchair down. I'm gonna pull up your foot pedal. Okay, now I'm going to put you over on the bed, okay? Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, walk with me. We're almost there. You can have a seat. All right, I'm gonna lift up your foot pedals. And I'm gonna lift you over to the bed. Put your arms around my neck. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Keep coming, move your feet. All right, now we're gonna sit down on the bed. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna sit you in the recliner. Make sure your wheels are locked. Your foot pedals are up. Put your hands on my shoulders. Count of 3. I'm going to lift you up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now come on over just a little bit and turn. Okay, I'm going to set you down. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to set you back in the chair, okay? Push with your arms for me. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to lock the wheels. Okay, I'm going to set you back in your wheelchair, okay? Put your arms on my shoulders. Move forward. I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep going back. I'm going to count to 3. We're going to sit down. 1, 2, 3. Okay, put your foot pedals down. Unlock your wheels. Okay, I'm going to pull you in here. We're going to use the bathroom. Wash your arms for me. I set you onto the toilet. Put your hands on my shoulders. On the count of 3, I'm going to lift you up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, stay close to me. All right, we're going to sit you down the toilet. 1, 2, 3. Move you back into the wheelchair. Lock the brakes. Okay, on the count of 3, I'm going to set you over. Put your hands on my shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Okay, stay close to me. I'm going to set you down in your wheelchair. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to set you onto the shower chair. Put your hands on my shoulders. Count of 3. Stand up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to scoot back just a little bit. I'm going to set you on the shower chair. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to move your legs and put them in the shower. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to slide you over just a little bit and we're going to go back in the seat. 1, 2, 3. Set you back into your wheelchair. The wheels. Okay. Alright, on the count of 3, I'm going to turn your legs over on the side of the shower chair. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Back into your wheelchair. Put your hands on my shoulders. On the count of 3, I'm going to lift you up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, turn for me. Stay close to me. On the count of 3, we're going to sit down. 1, 2, 3.
The most common injuries caregivers experience are to the back, neck, and shoulders and are often caused by overuse, repeating the same lifting or pulling motions again and again. Caregivers are at greatest risk for injuries when they are pulling a person who is reclining in bed into a sitting position, transferring a person from bed to a wheelchair, or leaning over a person for long periods of time. Using proper lifting techniques can help prevent injury.
Least restrictive environment. A person must be able to have services occur in the least restrictive, least intensive environment appropriate for services and goals. Home and/or community services occur in the person's home and surrounding community. Clients have the right to move freely in these environments unless there is a documented reason for the right's restriction due to health or safety risk. Clients cannot be restrained via mechanical or chemical means. Staff cannot use any physical redirection strategies unless they are 1. Currently certified to do so and there is a behavior plan that staff has been trained on. They must have current CPR first aid training and de-escalation procedures that are hands-off must always be used as first approach. A person must never be left alone in a room or area or prevented from leaving an area.
Learning environment. A person has the right to live, work, learn, and play in environments that are safe, monitoring for health and safety of the person supported, reducing risk of harm to self or others, with no known safety issues present, such as sitting in a broken chair. They must be sanitary. A person's home environment, facility, or community area or vehicle for transporting must be clean and hygienic. They must be humane. You must honor the rights of the person. And least restrictive. Most inclusive environment where services are provided, avoid isolation or seclusion. Service locations must be identified in the person's ISP.